What's up, boys? Welcome to another matchup video. Now we have Garen. I've also been requested this matchup a lot. He was being played a lot more a few months ago when he was more meta in high elo, but he is still the solo queue terror in lower elo, I believe. So let's go over this matchup. First are the runes. So this is the normal setup versus Garen. Second wind is not necessarily necessary, but it is the most consistent rune, and I find when I don't go it, I try to go inspiration or bone plating or something. It just feels less consistent, and it can just sometimes I'm not able to play as aggressive as I want, or I try to play that aggressive and I get punished because I'm just not getting as much HP back. D-Blade pretty much every time into Garen. You can do 3 points Q into W max if you're ahead, or pretty much always versus Garen. So this is the normal build I go. Is Gore Drinker Sterix, of course, with CDR boots. I prefer Bruiser into Garen just because of how hard the game can be if he randomly starts, if you're full AD and he randomly starts one-shotting you in team fights with his team. You try to kill someone, he goes QR while Kiana throws like 2 abilities at me and I die. Doesn't feel great. If you're Bruiser, it's much harder for him. I've also experimented with Stridebreaker into him. It's not bad either. You could probably rush Shojin too. But Stridebreaker can be good even if he has Phase Rush, which seems like it would counter the Stridebreaker. But honestly, going Stridebreaker enables you to stay on top of him through his Phase Rush if you are using your dashes correctly. So it can feel pretty good. Let's get into some of the gameplay. So the first thing with Garen is the level 1. So a big thing people mess up is they don't play around his Q correctly, and they struggle even in the early lane. You should be dominating the early lane. Yes, this guy's missing HP. It doesn't really matter. It's the same for the sake of the example. So early lane, he comes at you with a Q. He might auto Q you. Doesn't really matter. You'll just end up getting an extra auto on the backside if he leads with an auto. But if he just Qs you like this, you're going to auto and Q before his Q goes off. Now, sometimes if you're moving into him and he's moving away from you and he turns back with Q, it'll go off like kind of fast compared to your auto. But in that situation, you can just Q before the auto. I hope that makes sense. It's just a game mechanic where if someone is walking away from you and turns into you, their auto is faster than yours for some reason. It could be a ping thing too. But yeah, W level 2 is really good versus Garen as well. I probably should have played for Empower W here and just stayed on him. I would have gotten a bit more damage. You'll see me kill Garen's level 2 sometimes with Empower W. We do a 2-wave crash. And then a big thing versus Garen is to let the wave come out to you is really important. You don't want to just be permanently pushing waves into Garen. You want to create situations where the wave is coming into you. And you can start pushing the wave like this. Like I started pushing the wave because I got a trade for it, and I have, pretty high die pressure, so it's pretty good. So don't sit in his E if you can avoid it, unless you like in this situation. It wouldn't be that bad for me to stick in his E and just trade autos because I have such a big HP advantage. But I'm able to step out of pretty much his whole E. So you don't want to trade in his E unless you have an HP advantage and you just want to take like a little bit of a losing trade in the moment, but it's a winning trade overall because you're just winning by so much. So here it's just Q and Power W, and now I'm not afraid to trade in his E because I just have lethal. Most of the time Garen players will not combo their Q with their W. So if you can go Q like this, instead of me doing an auto Q here, I just do Q into Empower W. One, because I was trying to let his range creeps kill the cannon and I wanted to deny cannon, but 2, because of his W. So if I do auto Q and then try to W, there's a very good chance that he will W my W, which is not great. It's not horrible because we eat the shield, but he will be CC'd. He will eat a lot of the CC and a lot of the damage. So it's not as good as just being able to avoid his W entirely. Now I'm just fighting in his E. If he gave me one more auto, he was dead. Here is Kayn topside, but now my Rek'Sai is topside as well. And I have Ghost in this situation, which made it pretty easy to play out. I guess Flash would make it pretty easy too. I just Flash on Kayn here, but I just Ghost through tower, so I'm not taking a tower shot. E through both of them, quick empowered Q before his silence come down, and we end up dominating the early game. The Ghost was pretty OP here. It's pretty nice. Now we're in a situation where we're slow pushing out into him while we have a big advantage. So we're going to try and get some double dashes on him, get a little poke damage. Unfortunately, I'm one Fury short here, but trying to get some poke, and then maybe I can work some trades in under tower. It's pretty easy to trade under tower versus Garen since he has no CC. I could probably even take one tower shot there if I don't go for the extra auto, but breaking his passive regen and then being able to dive with my level 6 is the plan here. If I'm not strong enough to dive him, I can very easily not do this trade and be patient for the wave to come out while I am full HP level 6 versus him being full HP level 6, especially with a huge item advantage. You win all in versus champion really hard. You don't want to be permanently pushing waves into him. You only want to push into him if you're going to dive him. And there will be situations where you misjudge whether you can dive or not. Like maybe in this situation, like he actually is healthier than I thought. He hits level 6, maybe Kane's topside and I can't dive. That's okay. Just be patient. Let the wave come out to you. Keep trying to create the situation where you can go for a full HP all-in, because you actually win all-ins super hard in this lane. While it's one of the few lanes where post 6, your opponent actually has the more burst damage and you have the better all-in. It's one of the few lanes like that, kind of like a tank lane. But Garen level 6 is also very scary with his jungler. You can end up in a lot of situations, no matter how strong you are, where you get one shot in a 1v2. So that's something to avoid. But you'll see I'm not able to dive him, and because Kane is covering, which I wasn't accounting for. So now I will go for the freeze, and I will be patient going for a freeze. Kane recalls. So I'm a little hesitant to freeze here. I don't remember if this guy has flash or not, or ignite or not. Let me see. So he does have ignite. I'm a little scared of his ignite and ulti. I don't think it like kills me, but maybe it'll end up baiting my ult and I won't get the best like trade back or something. But basically I end up just going for a trade, break his passive, get some healing off the wave and off him. Yeah, let's see. So I actually go for an outplay here. So you could easily go for the freeze or just go for a recall, reset the situation. Then I'll have Ghost up, get a freeze on my side, play for Herald, whatever. I have a big item lead. I don't really need to extend it like that much more just yet. But I go for an ulti Q. So this is a really good dive tool. Ulti for Fury, and for the double ult tick on him, the 45. Your first tick of ult is a double tick. And we get empowered Q. So I'm trying to just slowly set up an all-in. I bait his W here. I'm making sure not to take tower aggro with my ulti. So it's very noob for him to W there. Then I'm getting Fury, empower W. Easy kill. He leads with R instead of Q. Either way, I'm pretty sure he's dead without me dying. But really nice ulti outplay. And I'm playing under his tower like half the game, just getting plates and stuff. And we end up killing him when he goes for a proxy. But I'll try to show more examples of... This is an example. So we'll do this example first. This is an example of when the lane is close. I'll definitely show that. This is an example of a level 4 all-in. So I got an advantage off my early lane. Trading like I was saying, we're auto queuing every time he queues. I think I ended up, you know, W trade level 2, and then my Talon was topside. He did 3 camps topside into top dive, super easy dive. But this is a situation where waves coming into me. I'm level 4, slight item advantage. Neither of us have sums. So what I'm going to try to do is let the wave keep pushing. I bait his cooldowns and he eased the wave. So this looks really new by him, but I max range Q and walk all the way back. I honestly could just start fighting him right now. But I probably don't have like a full all-in kill if I do that. So what I do is I just trade autos in his wave. Q. I'm just trying to get to my next Q. You see me talk about getting to the next Q all the time. Easy little, I mean, not easy, very close little solo kill, but very well played. So we do 1 Q. And the 1 second off Q is really helpful for this, even though Q is weaker than before that change. I should have Q'd right now, get it back up as soon as possible, and then I would empower W, which would be better, and help my empowered Q get back up. But this worked out too. Powered Q, very nice. So you see how hard we win the all-in. We win the all-in even if he's spinning on me in that situation. I just wouldn't be able to kill him. I would have needed to wait for the wave to come back out more. So this is an example of when the lane is much closer. I'm 1 and 2 in this game. Probably have a CS lead, maybe a slight item lead. I'm not sure what his items are, but we pull the wave and we're letting it come out to us. It's letting it come out, letting it come out. And now we're going to wait for this next wave. And now it's really come out to us. We are on pretty even items. And I have some Fury now. So he wants to bait me to push it with like an empowered Q if he can. But he's also scared of Talia. So he's playing fully back. So now, like, what does he do? Does he just give up all of these creeps, or does he flip an all-in? What do you think 95% of players are going to do? They're going to flip an all-in, or their jungler is going to come, and their jungler needs to waste their time to get the wave in, or they're going to kill you if you don't play around it. But you see how, like, bad this looks for me? But it's not even close, right? Like, am I really ever close to dying to his ulti here? Like, no, I save my cooldowns. I save my dashes. He can't ever get away from me. I flash over the corner of the wall for a bit more range than what his flash was. If he maybe could get to here and then flash over, but he couldn't because my Q is back up. So let's look at it again. I'm not going to W him here. I'm not going to Q him here. He uses Q. He uses W. I'm just going to ulti Q or ulti EQ. It doesn't really matter. I should probably save my W there. Save my cooldowns a little bit more. And then this wouldn't even be close to him getting away. But you see how hard I win the all-in. That's what you want to play for, the freeze into all-in. Not sure if I have any more to show. Oh yeah, I had a couple versus Riste and Geek Smashers, right? These are high elo, one-trick Garen players that everyone knows. So this level 1 was me. He has like a fake setup. If he has like, you know, a D-Blade or something with Conqueror Ignite, I can never like just all-in him level 1. But we'll see. It's like slightly winning, so he can't kill me because he has a fake setup. And then I'm just gonna 2-wave crash because Shaco's gonna cheese gank me. Then I know he's either gonna cheese gank me or go into my jungle. Me and Chase with a little banter. So this whole time I'm just playing scared of Shaco. But you'll see I'm able to abuse the all-in here, and this really sets a snowball of events. Power W, we're fighting during his E. It's not a big deal when you're ahead in the situation. Nice little wait for my Q there for the flash. Now the wave's coming into me as I recall, and I'm able to just chain kills together because my all-in is so strong. So I'm just going past the wave, denying cannon, getting a chunk on him here. Or actually, I end up killing him. So this one's like pretty close, but it's a nice solo kill, really well played. He's pretty tanky, so he gets all the way back to his tower, but you'll just see the same thing. I managed to do it multiple times. So I should probably not ult until after my E there, so I can get empowered power W, but it still works out. And we just chain so many of these together against, you know, a high elo Garen player. And yes, like, he has not the best early game setup. And then I went for a level 1 that got us both low because of that setup. But you'll see I can do, like, probably can't chain this many kills together, but I can do similar things. No matter how the level 1 goes, I'm always going to get an advantage off the early lane. And this one is versus Geek Smasher. This is a full AD example. I'm not able to get big advantage in the first few waves. We just push into him. It's coming back. We both trade HP. And this is one where I have TP. So I use trading HP to TP back and then get a freeze. And I'm actually really strong in this wave. We just auto Q, bait him into me. I probably should have just gone for this all-in, but we end up getting it after. Yeah, he has phase rush to dash away, but I have both W's. I have hidden passive, extra fury in this situation. I only have 16 fury here, but auto E through him and all the creeps and powered Q off of that. Really easy all in. So you can just see, like, this lane is super winning if you understand wave control and abusing your stronger all in. You can get into some really strong situations where Garen does not have a lot of counterplay. So this is one where I didn't quite get it, but he's just being denied so many CS. He doesn't want to be denied CS anymore. I think he W's my W here. So he actually W's my W here. I tried to W right away in front of it, but it's still super winning for me, even though he W's my W. Like, I'll just end up diving him solo if my Briar doesn't dive him. So this lane, the things to look out for in this lane, even when you're winning, I've laid the blueprint of how to win. But when you're winning, when Garen hits level 6, you can get 2v1 one shot really easily. When Garen is level 6, let me see if I can show that. I think I have that somewhere. It might be this one. Is this where he has a Qiyana jungle? No. Okay. Well, basically, be careful for Garen to one-shot you with his jungler. That's his biggest strength. Ignite plus Q ulti with his jungler hitting you. You will just get one shot even if you're ahead. So be very careful of the 1v2. Also, Garen's 1v1 scales pretty well. You should be ahead in items most of the time. You should be dominating him and be able to affect the game way more than he is. And then it's just about balancing the Garen that's sitting in side lane permanently, balancing pushing waves all the way out, and getting impactful moves with getting back to catch the waves and not just give him free tier 2 towers. Is pretty much most of the matchup. You're the better team fighter when you're ahead. When you're even, Garen is pretty strong. He's a very strong champion at 2 to 3 items. He's very tanky, and his R offers a lot in team fights. But if you're also on, say, Gorgon or Sterix, you should just be just as strong as him. But yeah, Garen, when he gets ahead, is a problem. He should not be getting ahead very often, and you just need to balance the side lane, and he should be pretty good. His 1v1 will scale pretty hard even when he's behind. When he gets to like 3 items, when he has Hullbreaker as well, it can be kind of hard. I didn't talk about his W that much, just because if you're ahead versus him and you're creating all-in scenarios, you can play around his W really easily. It's only when you're fighting in front of his tower that it's harder to play around his W, or he's able to easily proc his phase rush. When he gets to his Iron Spike whip, he's able to easily proc his phase rush way more. He also gets Nimbus Cloak for his ignite. So be mindful of that and have a plan around it. Don't just let him proc it for free in your face, kill your wave, and run away. Especially when he has Stride Breaker, it's really hard to stay on him. You don't want to focus on trying to kill a Stride Breaker phase rush Garen in side lane. It's just not really going to happen. You want to focus on playing with your team and having impact in the game, not continuing to push your advantage in the side lane as much unless you're diving him under his tier 2. So that's most everything about the Garen lane. Sorry if I missed anything. I don't want to make these videos super long. They're already pretty long as it is, but I hope you guys have better luck with the Garen matchup and you're able to properly snowball and then snowball the game afterwards. Hope this is helpful. I'll catch you all later. Bye-bye.